my own rate my professor, but really rate my course. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Haley if you're new here, and if you are new here, you might not have known that I recently graduated from Clemson University. Go Tigers! And I'm so excited today to just be reacting and sharing my thoughts about the different courses that I took at Clemson. I want to go ahead and do a quick disclaimer. These are my opinions. This will be based on my own experiences. We have to account for the fact that there was a global pandemic, and of course, really, in my opinion, always comes down to the professor. They can really make or break your experience in a course. I will not be sharing what professors I had. I am just going to be strictly talking about the course in general, my thoughts. Did I like it? Did I not? Some things I maybe learned throughout the course. Maybe you need to study a lot in this course. Maybe this is a more simpler course. Hopefully this will help you when you're registering for your classes. You can refer back to this video and it can be of some guidance and help for you. With all of that being said, let's just hop into this video because we have 4 years worth of courses to get through and discuss. Let's just go ahead and hop right on in. Starting with first, I had a few AP advanced placement courses that I took in high school, but those credits transferred over into my college career. So some of these courses I was able to exempt, and so those courses were AP Human Geography. I was able to use that to exempt my Geography 1010, which would be Intro to Geography. Also, I took AP US History, and I got high enough score where I was able to exempt quite a lot of history courses, which were History 1010, which is the history of the US, History 1020, which is also, I guess, like a continuation of history in the US, and then I also took AP European History, which I was able to exempt History 1730, which was West and the World Level 2. So I had all those credits that I was able to bring with me into Clemson. Yay, AP credit. We love saving money. So I had Solar System Astronomy, which was Astronomy 1010. I had to take a natural science with a lab for my major. Only one, which was great. And so I picked astronomy. Very simple course. I would say is definitely like memorization based. And also the professor that I had, a lot of his study guides for the exams were like literally identical. So if you studied the study guide, knew the questions, knew the answers to the questions, you were pretty good to go. So that was something that I learned through that course. It was a good course as I was transitioning into college because there were some other courses that semester that I was struggling a little bit more with. That course was not as like burdensome as some of my other ones. So I had that, and then the lab was one of the most easiest labs I've ever taken in my life. We just would go in once a week. We had like a little simulation thing where we look at the stars. I think like maybe once we went into the planetarium, and then we also had like an outside of class lab where at night we had to go out into the botanical gardens and like observe the stars, like do a whole report. I think we only did like maybe 1 or 2 official reports. If you're looking for an easy natural science with a lab, I would suggest if you can get into astronomy 1010, do that. With that, I also had to take a business foundations, which is business 1010 course. It's required for all college of business students, I believe. I took that my freshman year, which most people who declare like pre-business typically take it their first semester freshman year. Another super easy class. I think this semester this probably was my easiest class I took. Not much required, very manageable. It was only once a week and it was only for like an hour. It's like my only Friday class my first semester freshman year. I was really thriving with that. Also, every Clemson student has to take Clemson Connect, which is U1000. It literally is an asynchronous course which talks about like freshman 101 stuff, intro to personal finance. I had to take one random elective and I picked this because it was only half a semester. Super easy. It was online. A lot of it was like valuable information. It was so simple. Now we're gonna move into, I had to take a math 1990 course because I didn't place high enough in my math placement test in the summer, like pass or fail. We just had to do a whole bunch of modules each day in class, and then Fridays was like a hybrid day. So we had like Monday, Wednesday, we had to go to class. Like the whole class, all you do is like work on modules. The professor helps you. On Fridays, we would be able to just like do it wherever we wanted to. There were certain like deadlines you had to get so many of your modules done by, and that was gonna like help you dictate like how far you were gonna get in the course. And I think there might have been like tests per se. Like I know there was quizzes after you complete so many modules. I want to say there was like check-in tests, and that's what dictated our deadlines. Again, this was like 4 years ago, pre-pandemic. Next, I had my intro to psychology course, and my professor was very lenient. It was another like one of those hybrid classes before hybrid classes were really a thing. And we would have class Monday, Wednesday, and then on Fridays, video lecture, and you just complete the assignments. My principles of microeconomics, which was Econ 2110. This class was probably my biggest hurdle my first semester freshman year, just because it was 300 people and a big lecture 2 days a week, and then we would have like a discussion section which was like 30 people. One of my hardest to like understand, comprehend when it comes to like problems, numbers, anything like that. I had to do a lot of studying just to get the information. You're gonna learn what you're good at, what you're not so great at, and where you need to like fill in the deficits. Okay, next up is macroeconomics, which was 2120, which was like a continuation of the previous econ class. I also had English gen ed requirement. It was English 1030, another like super easy class. Coming from somebody who was not a humanities major, I thought I was gonna have to put in a lot of effort in this class, and that was not the case. Next up, we have business calculus. So I would have taken this my first semester if I didn't take that like remedial math class, and then also I had to take business calc 2 later on. I also took a human sexual behavior class. This is like a psych related course. It's well known. If you go to Clemson, you've probably heard about the course. Easy A course, like everybody says. Do the readings, listen to what the professor says, you'll be good to go. We also had statistics in everyday life. I think this also fulfilled some type of gen ed. That one was a lot more work than I thought it should have been. We had that. I also took, let's see, financial accounting concepts, which is accounting 2110. So this class was asynchronous, and that was probably one of my first like difficult asynchronous courses. I had English 2150, which is another gen ed requirement. It was literature in the 20th and 21st century English department. I loved because their courses were so simple and manageable to do. I also had to do principles of management. You just have to memorize the vocab. You'll be good to go for the exams. I had management PC applications, which is management 2180. This is just like Excel, Word, learn very basic functions on those. And then I had statistics 3090, which is introductory business statistics. Again, a class I had to just put a lot of work into. And then I also took intro to human communication for my like oral communication. I would suggest that if you're not a big like speaker over the other comm course, if you're allowed to pick between the two, because this one was more interpersonal communication and like group settings, more of that focus than just like reading speeches. So we had 3 speeches throughout the whole course, and then a group speech that you have to do at the end. So the lab is where you actually do the speeches and stuff, and then the lecture is where you're going through and learning the different skills. I also took principles of marketing. This is a very interesting class, piqued my interest a little bit in marketing. I really enjoyed this course a lot. Then I did lifespan development psychology and abnormal psychology just for some more minor credits. Lifespan was relatively simple. It was another asynchronous class, and we just had like one of those copy shop books, and you just like work through the workbook. And then abnormal psychology was really engaging, really fun. I also took legal environment of business. So this is the law class I was required to take. That class again was a lot of just like memorizing terms, memorizing laws. Intermediate business statistics was like the next level from the introductory business statistics. I also took managerial accounting concepts, which was step 2 to the previous accounting class that I took. All these math-based courses, you just got to understand the steps, understand the theories and problems, and you'll be okay with it. I took my first HR class. So it was my HRM class. It was 3070 with management, very simple. I took his other course my final semester at Clemson just because of the way that he taught this course. I took management information systems. This class was synchronous, but it was only once a week, and then you would have like a project to do like the other assigned day of the week. I liked how that class was just like laid out. Operations management was another class that I definitely had to like go to the professor, go to office hours, really try to understand it, because in my opinion it had engineering principles into it as well. I took social psych, which was a good kind of like balance to that tougher class. We had really fun activities that we would do in class. Like, I enjoyed going to that class, I remember that. So we're starting to dwindle down my list here. Again, I hope this is helpful. I'm just trying to like fit fire anything I remember about these courses. I took corporate finance. That was another one where it was asynchronous, and this one I literally had to teach myself, and when you would ask for help, it wasn't really that helpful. I also took decision models for management, which was 3120. You use Excel and the function in Excel, figure out answers and do different problems. Then I took another HRM class, which was management 4000, which was management of organizational behavior. Enjoyed that. I took my non-lit, which I decided to take world music. Again, a very simple class. And then I took psychology and culture, which was asynchronous, and it was with the professor I had the social psych with. So it was really simple, really easy. It was like video lectures. You do an activity, you watch a few different documentaries and videos, and you would be good to go. I took business strategy, which was probably one of my more tougher classes, just because it was just a lot that class demanded. So that's more so where the difficulty came in, and the exams were very like tedious as far as like the details that you need to know. So if you're taking business strategy, be aware for the exam. And I took special topics in HR. That class is really simple, and it was contract grading, so you can decide what assignments and things you wanted to do in order to get the grade that you wanted. So I decided to do like the presentation and to observe presentation so I could get an A in the course. I did international business management. That was on Zoom, very like vocab heavy. I took employee rights and responsibilities with that professor that I took my first HRM class with. And then I took personnel interviewing, which you got to see a little sneak peek of that during one of my last days in my life as a Clemson student, where we would do mock interviews for that class. A lot of the information that was shared by the professor, you just had to like, again, memorize. So a lot of my business classes, I would say, this probably doesn't work for every major, was just very memorization based. You need to memorize the concepts, memorize the vocab. And then when it came to the math based stuff, you just need to understand how the different steps work so you can work them on future problems. So once you figure out the style of the class, the professor's style really does help your studying and your like success as a student and doing well in the course. I hope this video helps you all, gives you a gist of how the classes might be laid out, especially if you're taking any management, HRM, or psychology courses. Those are kind of the places that I had to touch, or just regular gen eds like I did at the beginning that everybody has to take. But until next time, I will catch you guys on the flip side. Bye guys.